First of all, good afternoon, and I definitely want to thank all of these women for being in the State House today. And what is so lovely is broad cross-section, geographically, ethnically, and culturally. So you see that this is an issue that cuts across all lines. How ironic it is that we're in the State House today, month of August, where we're approaching August 20th, when women were given the right to vote. And here we are, a couple of decades after the 1920s, with women still having to break through legislatively to enact laws that are of significance to women and families. I would like to thank Assemblywoman Pam Lampett, who has been working with the Time to Care Coalition for almost a year to try to get us to a place where we can get some action. We were successful in the legislature in passing paid family leave, which was long overdue. And what we heard in New Jersey when we passed that was that the sky was going to fall in, that we would put business owners out of business, that companies would go under, that workers would abuse it. Different story can be told by the New Jersey Department of Labor. There's been no abuse of paid family leave. Most people who are working have not even taken advantage of it. And every worker in New Jersey has a minimal deduction from their paycheck, which goes into the trust fund to pay for it. Earned sick leave is an issue whose time has come. And what makes this, yes, it's an issue whose time has come. What makes this so discriminatory is the fact that those who are at the higher echelon in different types of occupations have the ability to place a phone call and say, I'm not feeling well today, I won't be in, I'll see you tomorrow. And when they get paid, there has been nothing deducted from their paycheck. It is discriminatory for us to support a work environment where some who earn more, who are in different positions within their companies, have one set of rules, and then other workers do not. You've heard the citation and the demographics. It is women who are most affected by lack of sick leave. You know, I think about the time when there were no child care centers in this country. And you heard Loretta Winters say that well over 50%, and Marilyn Askin identified, well over 50% of the labor force in this country is comprised of women. That wouldn't work if we did not have child care. And it took until 1965, 66 that we even had a national conversation about child care in this country. Child care, we have accomplished. Right to vote, we have accomplished. Paid family leave, we have accomplished. Being able to stay in the hospital more than one day after you have a baby, we have accomplished. And now the women of New Jersey and the legislators in New Jersey will move towards enacting earned sick days to benefit women and families in this country. And there's no one who's been fighting the good fight in the General Assembly for many, many years than Assemblywoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. And you know that earlier in her career, she spent time working within the New Jersey Department of Personnel. So she knows a great deal about these issues of sick leave and benefits that need to accrue to workers. Bonnie has been fighting for decades for issues such as this, and you can believe she will be one of the loudest voices in our chamber when we post this bill up for a vote. Bonnie Watson Coleman.
It's really good to be here today with such a diverse group of women who are both affected and some of whom are just here because they're concerned, because they do have access to earned sick days. But we're standing here together because that issue is that important. And it just seems that the pursuit of civil rights when it comes to women and people at the lowest end of the economic spectrum is just sort of a lifelong pursuit. Because once we think we've gotten one thing done, we see all the other issues that need to be addressed. And this is the time to address this issue. And generally speaking, the people who are not the people that are around here today, or a person like the woman who is the Speaker of the General Assembly, need to be motivated by the costs associated with something that they are or are not doing, counting the cost. And I believe the research bears that the productivity in organizations that do not allow women or people at certain levels earned sick days does impact the productivity in those organizations. And I think that we need to be talking to them, not just in terms of how fair and unfair, not just in terms of whether or not it's right or wrong, but in language they sort of understand, which is how it negatively impacts your pocketbook. For me to send my child, when he was sick, to school, not only placed his health at peril, but it placed the health and well-being of all the kids in his class and all of the teachers that came into contact with him and with their health in peril. And the same thing happens if I had to go to work and I didn't have the capacity to stay home because I am ill. I had the capacity to infect a whole bunch of people. As Lizette mentioned, that resulted in 2009, I believe it is, with a disproportionate impact on Latino workers because they were going to work with the flu bug. So this is not just a social justice issue. This is also an economic issue. And once we get to discuss those issues in those terms, we get an opportunity to move those who would not otherwise be moved. And in closing, there are two things that I think are really important to say here. And this is not to suggest that the men who are in leadership in our legislative bodies are not sensitized to these issues. But from my personal perspective, it is good to have a woman who is the Speaker of the General Assembly right now. And it is good. And it is good to have a majority leader in the state Senate right now who also is a woman, because we know firsthand the impact of these unequal laws or these unequal opportunities or these disparate opportunities on the well-being of our families and for those employers and schools that are impacted by these situations. So it's a good day to be here. Thank you.